about.
He talked about
Matchup, our main event is maybe the most physical tag team war of this era in the state of Alabama because the Congregation have reigned as tag team champions for many, many months. The Bishop has led Brother Benelli, Brother Blake to vanquish all these other tag teams, and many of them have never been the same. Some we hadn't even seen again after the Congregation got done with them. But the brute force bounties, talking about Reaper and Sergey, are mad, bad, and dangerous to know, and they have refused to back down or go away. They've taken the fight to them this whole way.
You know, in an era in which, of course, tag team wrestling is almost a lost art, there are some times where the violent tag team matches, the big physical tag team matches, really are what people miss the most. Yes, there are those who may remember fondly the days of the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, but this is like a big-time beef collision. You know, this is the Road Warriors against the Powers of Pain. This is Demolition. This is all of those big teams that you think about. And when they get in there and they let it fly, tag team titles at stake, Joe, I don't know, and it's a cliche, I know, but I don't know if the ring is big enough to hold this. It's got that level of physicality written all over it.
Well, we've seen all night long the athletes that have stepped up, right? How they've gone above and beyond the normal call of duty, whether it is the table match, whether it was our street fight, whether it was our double championship match. Everybody was looking to have their name in lights, but now we look at the main event. Now we look at the chance to leave that lasting impression.
Oh,
the
yeah.
last thing you see when we go off the air will, in theory, be one of these tag teams standing tall. And for the past 6, 7, 8 months, they've both wanted nothing more than to vanquish the other. One may reach their goal.
Who is going to leave the final word here tonight at All Sales Final 2? Championship introductions, here we go.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. It is for the DCW Tag Team Championship.
This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of war sanctioned by Diamond Championship Wrestling. Time has run out. All debts will be paid and all bounties will be collected. There will be no more running and no more hiding. The brutes are here to collect.
Well, you see the intensity that the brute force bounties bring to the table. They are at 11 constantly. And the tag team of Reaper and Sergey have their moment in the sun. See Reaper in the foreground with the full beard, Sergey behind him. And of note, the brute force tandem wearing Congregation colors. That can't be an accident.
Oh, a little mind games being played as a prelude to this physical war.
Brother Blake on the left, Brother Buzzsaw Benelli on the right. Benelli, one of the most decorated champions in DCW history. Triple Crown, Grand Slam, and the Bishop has been the man to lead the congregation to the promised land. Since the month of April, they've reigned as tag team champions. And of all the teams they've gone through, nobody has given them a tougher challenge than the Bounty. You can feel it's going to explode any second. It's palpable in the ring. That fuse is about to be lit. Be careful, Carmen.
Once again, the following is your main event contest set for one fall. It is for the DCW Tag Team Championships. Introducing first in the corner to my right, they are the challengers. Sergey and Reaper, the Brute Force Bounties! And their opponents to my left, they are the reigning and defending DCW Tag Team Champions, being accompanied by the Bishop, Brother Blake, Brother Benelli, the congregation.
You see the prize at stake. Both teams would love for this to be the final battle, but at what cost?
All right, championship main event underway. Here we go.
Yeah. That's Benelli for the congregation in there with Reaper for the Bounties. Collar elbow tie, and when you have two teams this explosive, when you have two teams this capable of doing the damage that they do, you have to start out very, very tentatively to make sure you don't make any mistakes.
You certainly don't want to put your team at a disadvantage early on. And you know that each team is going to look to put their signature stamp on this. They don't want this to be a fluke situation, Joe, because of what is at stake and who we are, what we're representing here and how it goes.
Nice counter into the wrist lock by Benelli. And we talk about how decorated he is.
And quite a change in attitude for Buzzsaw Benelli over the couple of years he's been competing here.
No question.
Falling under the spell, if you will, of the Bishop.
Meanwhile, Reaper is the brain and the strategist of his respective tag team, obviously dressed for wartime, dressed to potentially purge the congregation from the tag team division. And that roundhouse could have changed everything.
You know, it's a testament to the fans here tonight in attendance, and I'm sure watching all over the world on pay-per-view, but where you start an event with a cage, it's kind of difficult to follow up, but the fans have been invested in every moment here tonight.
Every match high stakes, every match a different reason, every match just a different emotional investment level for these fans who have been watching these athletes grow up before their eyes in many cases for the past 2 or 3 years, maybe longer for some of them. And there's a handful of beard into the corner, or rather into the ropes, excuse me. Benelli trying to control Reaper, who is able to turn things around into the Russian leg sweep. Nicely done. Reaper said he went into wrestling to cause pain and chaos, and had a deep desire to, quote, wear tactical gear without being put on a government watch list.
I think that's a fair point. Man, Benelli driven down, almost a double rush in there.
And in comes Sergey, man who was born in Belgrade, Serbia, and before he was a pro wrestler, he would wrestle bears, just for the fun of it.
And again, athletes from Serbia, they generally kind of grow up either with a judo background, a samba background. They come in with, they learn so many different fighting styles.
Well, the style that Sergey and Reaper have forged together, they call it tactical tag team wrestling. And it speaks to the strategy, and it speaks to their ambition to destroy, much like that shoulder breaker by Sergey, nicely executed.
And you know, you want to see tag teams tag in and out. And I think right now Benelli needs a tag in the worst way, because we are on the verge of a blowout.
Yeah, the congregation has not been able to get one tag thus far in this contest, 2 count only, and the Bishop is watching on ringside, almost dumbfounded by this.
Almost in shock.
Well, Reaper takes back over.
So the Bishop having some words for Brother Blake, and then Blake reaches in as far as he can, keeping one foot on the ring apron, trying to lean in for that tag, but you could see the distance between Benelli and Blake. The congregation corner is empty.
And the way the bounties look at tag team wrestling, it's survival of the fittest, right? It's no cheap wins. It's no numbers edge. It's no, distracting of the referee. If you can beat them man-to-man head-on, then you've earned something. That's how the bounties want these matches to be decided, and that's how they carry themselves each and every time out in the ring.
And again, another opportunity to do something offensively, and my goodness, the bounties have the answer.
Into the cover, 2 count, and just rocking that shoulder off the canvas as quickly as possible. You can tell Benelli's looking for an opening. He's trying to find something, but he's just absolutely being overwhelmed by both brute force bounties.
All right, now Sergey, legal man, but he's going to whip Reaper back in to do some more damage within that count of 5. Yep, straight up and down spine buster. This is a route, folks.
Benelli doing the best he can against the ex-Serbian Special Forces member of Sergey.
Listen, even the best teams can come up empty sometimes.
Sure.
And you go, well, okay, that was just one. But here in this big spot, pay-per-view main event, tag team titles on the line, you come out, you lay an egg, and you lose the titles, you get blown out. Man, oh man, I don't know if there's any coming back from that.
Hey, 7 months as champion, rivalry with this team the entire time and longer. Something's got to give. And it may be the arm and shoulder of Benelli that gives. Blake trying to get involved.
And now, all right, so the first opportunity to do something smart there, and they're able to take advantage of it. Benelli's got to get to the corner, but he wants to neutralize Sergey in order to do it.
Smart move. He doesn't go to his corner alone. Takes Sergey with him. And rapid fire. Stomping that proverbial mud hole.
He still hasn't tagged out.
Yeah, that's a mistake. I don't know if that's pride. I don't know if that's to your point, feeling egg on his face for what you termed a blowout. But either way, and he's fighting pain to do it.
And now finally the tag. Okay.
And Blake causing a diversion and enables a double team. And I think for the first time of the night, I just saw the Bishop smile.
And so now Blake comes in after Benelli basically empties the tank, first taking punishment, then giving punishment to get Blake in on the advantage. And a snapmare eerily aware of the size of the brute force bounties. Oh, how big a man. Was there a tag? I guess there was.
You notice how quickly as well the congregation adjust to utilize the ring positioning to their advantage, cutting the ring off at its hypotenuse and keeping the legal man far away from his corner and really far off his feet as well. That power neutralized as well on Sergey.
So an interesting choice of strategy here with when you look at Benelli able to take all that he could, finally get out. Blake was in the ring for a short period of time, and Sergey able to drive him down.
Yeah, Sergey was able to break the contact, but notice that Benelli is still between Sergey and Sergey's partner, Reaper. At least for a moment, both men are still nowhere near their corners, and Benelli had the wherewithal to strike first as the congregation maintains control in what they refer to as their sermons of pain they deliver to their opponents. And you got to believe that a lot of this strategy came from the book of the Bishop and his strategy ringside.
So Blake is the one chirping at ringside, but the Bishop is the one who is telling Blake what to say.
I would suggest the Bishop as a control over this tandem, and as, well, check this out. Rapid fire rights and lefts.
Mauling Sergey, Blake taken advantage of. He was tagged in, so brother Blake now. Let's see if he can go to work, put something together here.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about it, brother Blake is by far the freshest man in this matchup still. He's got a lot of damage to dish out. And it's certainly been a congregation matchup. It's been about finesse. It's been about ring positioning. It's been about calculated moves. It has not been about a brawl. It has not been about power. Defending champions. Oh, wait.
Uh-oh.
One block. And Blake sent to Dream Street. Well, can Sergey get to a tag? Sergey was about 2 footsteps away from a tag, and Blake realized just in time.
Straight kick right into the midsection and a heavy forearm.
That could do it. Oh, only a count of one.
Sergey driven down, and again Benelli tagged in.
That goes to show you that the brute force bounties are still as heavy-handed as they come. Whoa, check out that vertical leap. That's impressive as hell. And a 2.5, if not a little bit more. Any worse for wear Benelli was earlier in this matchup. Feels like he's been able to shake some feeling back into that arm and whatever
Some
else.
of it, but his midsection is troubling him. And now the half crab here. The single leg Boston crab.
Notice the wide base, how far apart the feet are, how low he was able to get his rear end to put more torque on Sergey.
But Sergey's 280. That's a difficult move to execute, especially if your midsection is troubling you. Now the full Boston crab.
Yeah, notice he repositioned Sergey further away from Sergey's corner, so he had more of a grace period. On again, Sergey able to counter, but the tag. And again, Sergey was close. Oh, wait a minute. Sergey found his partner, and it's time to fear the Reaper.
Hang on, the Bishop. The Bishop has just handed.
Oh! Congregation!
Ooh, right into the breadbasket.
The malfunction at the junction. The cane goes flying.
Here we go.
I think this is the bag and tag. And they've done it.
Here are your winners and new DCW Tag Team Champions, the Brute Force Bounty.
A caging of the guard once more as the most dominant tandem in DCW has been physically upended and dethroned. Sergey and Reaper take their perch atop the tag team division.
The congregation had absolutely no answers for the Brute Force Bounties tonight. And can we say that the year 2025 will begin the year of dominance for the Brute Force Bounties on top of the tag team world?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. They're poised.
Wait a minute!
Yes.
What the hell is this?
Hey! That's Crusher Cottrell and Jack Passion.
The two men that have assaulted the Bounties have killed each other earlier tonight in a cage match.
Yeah, the two men that have been beating the hell out of each other for a year and have found some kind of common ground are now out here assaulting our new tag team champions.
The only ones tonight who could do anything to the Brute Force Bounties are Jack Passion and Crusher Cottrell.
It feels so wrong. It feels so dirty to see these men standing tall, together, aligned, of like mind.
And now they've got the tag team titles that the Brute Force Bounties had just won.
And DCW's most intense championship rivalry may have just became the tag team to beat heading into 2026.